Hey everybody, we're here in town for the Victoria, Texas Independent Film Festival, and today we have Bryan Storkel with us from the movie Little Hope Was Arson, and thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about the film for people who don't know what it's about.
Well, the film is about, it's a documentary first of all, and it's about these 10 churches that were burned down it was back in 2010. There was 10 churches that were burned down in a matter of 5 weeks, and it was a big deal, and the whole community, reacted to it in a major way, and the story goes into, a little bit of suspense and the mystery of, who did it, but then it also, deals more with the community and how they reacted to the whole situation.
And what made you decide to make this documentary? It's an interesting documentary. I mean,
yeah. Well, I came onto the project after farther down the process, but Trenton and Theo, the guys that started the project, they read an article in the Texas Monthly, and they were just hooked on it right away because there were so many levels to the story. There was family involved, and there was this whole forgiveness issue, and there was just there was a lot to it, and they were fascinated by it and just wanted to make the film. And as soon as they read that article, I think the same night they decided they were going to make it.
And are you or the guys, are they from Texas?
No.
Really?
A friend had sent them the article, and Theo, the director, Theo Love, his fascination with it was, he grew up out of the States, so he didn't have a home church that he went to every week, and he didn't understand that feeling of that people had of this connection to these buildings, and he hadn't participated in that. So to him, he was interested in why that was such a big deal to these people, and exploring that.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I remember in 2010, it was national news, but also in Texas it was huge news because it was happening.
So you remember
in their backyard? Yeah, and so there's some things in the film that I thought were interesting because it mentions that was the first time that they had that big of an investigation with the federal officials and things like that. Yeah. And they were really kind of looking around, kind of clueless for a while.
Yeah, and they brought in national teams, national ATF teams, and I mean it was the biggest investigation going on in the area, at least for sure.
So when you guys were setting out to do this and you got the interviews together, did you have problems securing a lot of the family members and getting them to talk about a highly sensitive issue like that?
At the beginning, we just took a trip, down to Texas. I wasn't involved in that, but Theo and Trenton came down to Texas, and originally it was supposed to be. They set out to make this as a scripted piece, as a narrative feature. So they went on kind of a discovery trip, came down here, took a look around, started talking to people. But they started meeting the family members at that point, and kind of building a relationship with them, talking to them about their story. And at that point, they realized that this was a way better documentary. That these people telling their own story, would do a lot better than the narrative. And so they started making a documentary instead. And now we still are thinking about circling back and working on the narrative version of it as well, because the documentary has done pretty well, and we sold it, and it's going to get some attention. So we may still come back and do the narrative version, but I think to answer your question, it was just starting to talk to all the people involved and hang out with them and kind of build a little trust there, and then they were willing to do the interviews when they came back the next time.
Yeah, it seems like, especially, I mean, was there multiple interviews with the prisoners, or?
No, that was one, and that was crazy because we didn't get that until the end. We had a really hard time getting access to the prisons, and we had tried for a really long time because the story centers around these guys, these two guys that burned these churches down, and we thought, of course we're going to interview them, they're the center of the story. But we basically made the whole film and had a whole cut of the film, that didn't even have them in it at all. And then finally, the prison system decided to let us come in and film. But it took a lot of effort, and at one point we thought we weren't going to have interviews with the main characters.
And how long was that interview? I mean, it's obviously edited,
yeah.
But it seems like at the beginning they're really kind of close-lipped, and they're like not really saying that, well,
Yeah.
I guess I must have done it. But then towards the end, they're kind of rambling on about the church system and the things like that.
They, at first, that's how it was. The interviews, we thought we were going to have like 45 minutes. Like that's what we had, this whole official like, you know, document saying like you're only going to have 45 minutes with them, it's going to be done. But we got there and nobody seemed to care. So we set up and we just started rolling and talking to them, and I think they were like, each of them were like 2 or 3 hours like long of just, you know, talking to them. And, you know, at the beginning they were kind of like, you know, very somewhat tight-lipped, and, you know, we'd ask them why they did it or what, you know, answers to those questions, and they would come back with like, oh, there wasn't really a reason. But then when you start talking to them more about, you know, just their general beliefs down the line, then you start realizing they have all these, you know, deep thoughts about church and about, you know, family, and, you know, and that's the stuff that, you know, all those deep beliefs are what, you know, trigger their actions in the end. So yeah.
And what's the reception been like for that? I mean, you mentioned that it's been pretty good.
We've been playing like a good number of festivals and like winning some awards, and then we got a great like big like national you know, distributor that's gonna give us a deal to play it on TV. So we're still finalizing all the agreements with that, but it's looking like it'll be broadcast later this year.
And has the screening made it back to West Texas yet, or?
To East Texas, it's not. It hasn't, and we're working with some people to get that organized right now. But we wanted to show it there for so long, and unfortunately, there aren't any like film festivals that we know of in East Texas. If there are, I haven't heard of them yet. But there aren't any that have invited us to play there or anything. So we're looking to do our own, you know, sort of theatrical release over there in East Texas. But since none of us have done that yet, we have to work with some partners. So we're kind of working out all the details and trying to figure out how to make that happen.
And has any of obviously you haven't screened it there then, but have any of the people that, like a lot of the church members or pastors, have they seen any of the films yet?
Yeah. We did send it, you know, to the closest family members and stuff before it actually premiered, so we could get their, you know, their input and make sure they were okay with it and stuff. And then we've been showing it, you know, several of them, you know, the other characters in the film have come to different screenings and stuff. Christy McAllister was with us at Slam Dance in Park City, and then, you know, we've had several of James Ellis has been out to, you know, an Austin screening and several other screenings. So there's you know, a good number of them that have seen it now, for sure.
Cool. And I gotta compliment you on the opening of the film, because we were talking about this in a previous interview, but sometimes, especially with a documentary, you have to have something that really catches somebody at the beginning. And when Bree and I saw it, we were at RXSM, and it was outside.
You saw that one too.
Yeah,
outside in the cold.
Outside in the cold, and we were literally just gonna go back inside for a drink because it was too cold. And then like the first 2 minutes caught our attention because it was really. I mean, it caught your, you know, the fire and the pretty music and the things, and really got you going. And then before you knew it, you were sucked into the story, and then you had to see it play out.
Probably like the added like elements of cold and rain might have made it more.
You know, you're probably right.
That's crazy though that you sat through that. So thanks for doing that. That was a very a very cold night.
Yeah. Were you there that night?
I didn't want to sit outside.
Wow, you didn't even.
I was there. I didn't want to come outside. Yeah, it was too cold.
That's great.
But you watched it, and I thank you for that. Yeah,
no problem.
Great.
So what's next for you? Like, is there any other projects you got going on?
Yeah, there's a couple. The one I'm really excited about right now is called Fight Church, and that is going to premiere this month. It's one that I directed, and it's about cage fighting pastors.
What?
Yeah, just like Google the trailer on YouTube and look it up. Like it's like the last 2 days it's been blowing up. Like we were on Good Morning America yesterday. And then like I'm going on like Fox News on Monday. Like I've never done anything like that. But I'm going, like all these huge press outlets are covering it because it's you know, it's this whole, in the trailer too. I have this whole like pastor versus pastor like fight battle, and it's like it's just kind of, look it up. You can see the trailer.
I think I will. Yeah. That's awesome. And for this movie, is there anything like is there a Facebook page or somewhere where people keep up on updates?
Yeah, the Little Hope Facebook page is where they should go. Little Hope Film, I think it is. Hopefully I got that right. I think it's Little Hope Film.
Okay. Well, the movie is
look for Little Hope
right.
Was Arson.
Little Hope Was Arson.
And that's the website as well, littlehopewasarson.com, and then all of our information is on there.
Cool. Well, the movie is Little Hope Was Arson. It's screening at Victoria, Texas Independent Film Festival. And thanks so much for talking.
Yeah, thanks for having us to Victoria too.
Yeah.
This is great. We're having a good time.
Excellent.
Yeah, thanks.